What is up? Welcome to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook, got Coach Dub. We will try to get Justin Wells joining us, but it's another edition of Recruiting Intel. We got new rankings, we got new visitors, we got a lot to talk about. Great time here to join the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you have not yet, use the promo code IT1, get yourself 2 months of Inside Texas for just $1. We got a lot of intel up already on Inside Texas today and from yesterday, talking about a lot of the different visitors who have made their way to campus. But today, we're going to talk a little bit about rankings, some of the guys in the Longhorns 2025 class who made big jumps in the rankings, including one who is the number one guy at his position. Charlie, rankings are fickle. They are always, something to argue about. But what the rankings reflect, 12 Texas commits are in the top 300 of On3's most recent rankings. And that means Texas is recruiting dudes.
Yeah, definitely, man. Look, those evaluations are off the chart, man. They're doing a great job of identifying great players who can fit, but also can ball out. And sometimes I know everybody talks about rankings and, like you said, kind of fickle, but these guys that are ranked high have been balling out to start the season. Like they're verifying and confirming they are who they say they are on paper, man. And so the Texas is doing a great job of identifying great talent, man. And, the future is very bright.
Let's talk about the 5 stars. That's always what people want to know about. We want to talk about them too. And the 2 5 stars, and On3 has a process. I think they go basically all the way to the end of the cycle before they give 32 5-star prospects out. Right now, I think they're at 20. And that's fine. That makes sense. You want to figure out who the guys who are can't miss are.
Right.
But at the same time, there are some can't miss guys. And one of the things that Texas has, two of the people Texas has in their class are 2 5 stars on the defensive side of the ball. Lance Jackson was ranked by On3 as the number 13 overall prospect, number 2 edge, and number 4 in the state of Texas. Jonah Williams, number 16 overall prospect, number 1 safety, and number 5 player in the state of Texas. We knew this was coming. They've had On3 industry ranking 5-star status, which amalgamates Rivals, 247, ESPN, and On3. But On3, I think, made the right call with making these 2 guys 5 stars.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, man, to me, they're kind of like can't miss prospects, right? Like it's almost no brainers, man. The things that they do on the field is magnificent. And we talk about Jonah. He's on both sides of the ball, right? So, man, that dude is just amazing. He's electrifying. And so, yeah, I think they got it right with this one.
I'm right there with you. Like, the thing is, Jonah, when you see him with the ball in his hands, you understand what he can do to take the ball out of other people's hands. And that's sometimes tough to evaluate. And I'm curious from someone who was in a personnel department way back when you're watching a guy who is playing offense for his high school team, how do you use that to evaluate what he can do on defense?
I mean, honestly, you just kind of see the movement, see how fluid he is, and see how he just navigates when he picks the ball up. Like, okay, he has good hands, right? So if I put him on defense, I know that he's not going to be a guy that bats the ball down. He's going to pick it off and try to go score. That's a plus. That's a bonus of the guy. He's physical, likes contact. So, okay, I know if it's time to make a tackle, get in the alley, he's not going to be afraid of contact. And I think you just look for ball players, guys who make plays, right? Not just out there. Everybody can kind of get on the stat sheet, get in on the tackle, and make a play. You're looking for guys who like plus multipliers, right? Who can really do more than just what the job calls for. And Jonah's that, and he's easy to see. He just sticks out in a good way on the football field, all through and through, man.
You've heard me talk about the go win the game position Jonah plays at. Like in Galveston ball, I think they're 5A. Like, that's tough to do at 5A, to just play the be everything, do everything guy at the 5A level at Texas, but he does that, and I think that's super valuable. You know who else does it? That's Lance Jackson, and plays for Pleasant Grove. I think they're 4A at this point, one of
Mhm.
the larger schools in 4A from the Texarkana area. And one of the things I'm curious about from your perspective is Lance Jackson. If you walked into Lance Jackson walking down the street, you would think defensive tackle maybe in his future. So I'm curious from a coach's perspective, if you're Pete Kwiatkowski, if you're Steve Sarkisian, heck, even if you're Kenny Baker, what prevents you from sending Lance Jackson to the tank, to the nutrition center, getting up to 300 and playing defensive tackle? Why do you keep him at edge where he is a 5-star prospect?
And this kind of goes back to, you see it on film, see how athletic he is. But Eric got to kind of, see him at the Houston on the Arnold camera. I know he took a couple of videos of him moving. That guy does not move like a normal 300-pound guy. Like, he moves like he's a linebacker. Like, he has like these cat-like skills at a big, for a guy his size. And so, depends on how he grows. You can keep him at edge because he's quick enough, he's fast enough, he can move out on the edge. You might even can drop him in the coverage because he has the feet and the hips to do so. And so I think that will keep him on the edge if you want to play like a bigger edge. But I'm curious to see how big he actually gets at the next level. But he's versatile, so you can have him outside, say in normal down situations, or you can move him inside on pass rush situations because he's big enough to stop the run and get after the quarterback from the inside. He's quicker than all those guards and the interior guys. So he's a versatile player who can play on the edge or inside, but man, his just ability and athletic ability on the outside makes him just a different kind of dude.
He's special. Like, you don't see guys move at
Hmm.
270 like you see him move. And I'm trying to figure out, Texas had, or excuse me, On Three does recruit comparisons whenever they bring up a guy. And like, I'm not going to jump all the way to the Miles Garrett top turnbuckle. But Cody Belair, someone who has worked for LSU, Baylor, Texas Tech, his comparison is, and give me one click, I'll get you there. Adam Carricker, which is a blast from the past, someone from Arkansas, or excuse me, from Nebraska, but like 6'5", 270, but still quick enough to play the edge. That's something that you don't see. And that even at that jack position, that's very different. Baron Sorrell, he was on the freaks list from Bruce Feldman. And Baron Sorrell, we even saw a snap or two where he played 3 technique and he can do it.
Yeah, he can
Like,
do it.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, Lance Jackson is somebody that position at jack, it demands occasional coverage, occasional, not as much as Buck. But at the same time, you're asking this guy to set the edge. You're asking this guy to get after the passer. And when you're moving like he does at 6'5", 270, it's something different.
It is, and you normally see these guys. These are like, he's an SEC player. He has the build, the movement, and everything that we normally see from, like, say, the Georgias or Alabamas. Like, yeah, now Texas is getting those type of dudes, a big versatile guy who can move. You just don't see it. Now, those guys got NFL written all over them just on their athletic ability alone. And so when you get to Coach PK, Coach Baker gets their hands on him, man, the sky's the limit with that kid. And so, yeah, it's just unbelievable what he can do. And like, sky's the ceiling. I mean, it's unbelievable.
So to go through a few more of the new updated rankings in the On 300, Smith Arogbo, number 20, just outside 5-star status. Khalid Lockett, number 24. Elijah Barnes, number 33. We'll get to that in just a second. Myron Charles, number 58. Jamie French, number 62. And Nick Townsend, number 89. So that's all the top 100 guys Texas has. Top 300 guys: Josiah Sharma, James Simon, Ricky Stewart, which I think is a great addition, and KJ Lacey. Aside from Barnes, anything there that stands out for you as far as rankings wise?
Uh, Maybe not. Maybe stand out. Other than like the guys being just ranked like within the top 100.
It's
I
it's
can see
12
that.
guys. The top. 12 guys are in the top 300, and that is an indication of a quality class without a
It
doubt.
is. It is. And so I don't know if you have an argument, or should they be higher? Should they, are they ranked properly? But where they're at could be okay. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any complaints about where they're at. I'm looking at Khalid Lockett and his game last Friday. Now he's getting triple team. It's like somebody playing punt return coverage on him. It's like, yo, like, okay, he is a dude. People are afraid of him. And so these guys, I think they're maybe properly ranked. But as the season goes on and they continue to shine, maybe they move up even more. Who knows? So, um, maybe one, maybe we're going to get to is Mr. Barnes. Maybe he needs to be ranked a little higher and be a 5-star, but we'll get to that one.
No, we're getting to that right now. Elijah Barnes, Dallas Skyline linebacker, Texas commit. He is on threes, number 33 overall prospect, the number 1 linebacker, the number 10 prospect in Texas. On threes way higher on him than anybody else. The highest other ranking comes from ESPN, that's 94. But this is somebody, Charlie, that you think is very deserving of that ranking, and again, proves not just Jeff Choate, who's doing a great job at Nevada, correct?
Yeah.
But proves that Johnny Nansen knows what he's doing, Pete Kwiatkowski knows what he's doing, and that Steve Sarkisian knows what he's doing when looking for linebackers.
Yeah, definitely. This guy fits the mold. I look at him and, Anthony Hill has one more year. I think this is the guy that kind of steps right into his place. Like, he has the size, the speed, he can move. He's deserving of his ranking. Like I said, number 1 linebacker overall, maybe soon to be 5-star, who knows? But man, everything he said he wanted to do in the offseason, he wanted to get faster, he wanted to be better at recognizing plays and diagnosing them and attacking. Like, he's putting it on film, he's doing it. He's completely taking over games right now. And so he's very deserving of the ranking. But the one thing I love about it is he's not satisfied. He's like, I got a lot more work to do. And I'm really focused on the season and making my team better. But I appreciate, honor being number 1 linebacker, but I got a lot more work to do. And this kind of speaks to his mindset and maturity of what kind of player that Texas is going to get in the future. But man, congrats to him being number 1 linebacker. He's really, really deserving of it.
What are some of the things that you see in his game? I know he probably fits that Mike profile, and that there were realistic questions about what he can do in pass coverage. But looking at his stat line so far through the course of the season, Skyline has played a couple different teams. Doesn't look like Max Preps has his stat line quite yet. Actually, hold on, give me a second. I think they have it. They've only got a 24-yard interception return from what I'm looking at. But based upon looking at his senior film, what have you seen from Barnes so far?
Man, he's actually showing that he can cover. You see him dropping in coverage a lot. And I actually got a chance to kind of go by practice and see those guys move and work on 7-on-7. And he's really putting in a lot of work, understanding, route concepts, dropping, picking up guys who are crossing his space into his zone and all that. So he's really putting together. And then when you look at it on film and the games he's played in, he was able to diagnose screens, get in passing lanes and tip the ball and pick it off, and then run into the house, showing off his athletic ability after he picked off the ball. So I thought it was like, okay, he's a complete linebacker, right? And then I think in the spring when he ended up running a 10-9, showed that he did have speed to go along with the athleticism and hips, man. Okay, yeah, he's a dude, complete linebacker, not just a downhill big linebacker. He can play coverage too. So I think he's showing everybody that he can do it all.
Love that. Before we keep on going, and make sure if you're here, like this video, subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you are here, have not joined Inside Texas quite yet, head to InsideTexas.com. Use the promo code IT1. That'll get you 2 months of access. What is it? September 17th. You want to get through November 17th. You're going to get through a lot of games, SEC play. Head there, use the code IT1, get 2 months for just $1 on InsideTexas.com. And of course, we do have to thank our sponsor. Charlie, we've been watching games at home. I've been there in the stadium. I get the luxury of a press pass. But if you want to get into the game, any game, whether that's Texas, Dallas Cowboys, the Houston Texans, who might be better than the Cowboys, or the Rangers, the Astros, the Rockets, the Spurs, the Mavericks, or your favorite team, you need to head to Game Time. Go to gametime.co. Use the promo code on3. You will be able to see where your seats are at, one of the best parts of the Game Time app. You also get to check out your view from your seats. You go to the app, you pick whatever, section 104. You see that, boom, you're on the 50-yard line. You get to see what the 50-yard line looks like. That's one of the great benefits of the Game Time app. And you should go to gametime.co or use the Game Time app. Use the promo code ON3. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code ON3, ON3 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create your account, redeem the code ON3 for $20 off. Download Game Time today. This is the place to get tickets. This is the place to go. It's Game Time. If you want to check out the number one Texas Longhorns at home against ULM, against Mississippi State, give it a week. Maybe even Dallas. Cotton Bowl tickets may be on there, are on there. And then Georgia right after. Head to Game Time. Code ON3, ON3. Once again, terms apply. But thank you to Game Time. Thank you for that. Charlie, when we talk about the 2025 recruiting class, a lot of people have questions about defensive tackle. Josiah Sharma is in. Obviously, Texas has a commitment as well from Myron Charles, two guys who are in the On 300. But one of the guys that they just hosted, Joseph Mbacho, he's a Florida commit, very kind of fresh to the football recruiting scene. He was just on campus at Texas. And I'm just curious what you think about his game. He's a Florida commit. That's very shaky right now with how Billy Napier's basically his entire tenure is shaky. Curious what you think about him and what you see from Texas as far as recruiting Joseph Mbacho.
Yeah, look, I know Texas loves big humans on the offensive line, but that's a big human ever play on the defensive line. Like, that is a big kid, man. Something you can't teach your size, right? But him being fairly new to football and recruiting being all new to him, as Justin has said, I think Texas probably was able to impress him. With the rotation of guys they got to play, he probably could see himself like, if I come in early as a freshman and show that I got leadership qualities, show I got the ability to play and show the guys I have skill, I may be in a rotation. I may get a chance to get a few snaps, right? And when I get here at Texas, and so I think it's very encouraging. But one thing Coach Kenny Baker has done, everybody's been on campus with him. And they talked about his knowledge, talked about his love and passion, how he explains defensive line. Like, kids and parents get fired up talking to Coach Baker. And I think that he had a chance to experience that before the game and didn't see the guys go on the field and perform. And so I think Texas, continue to swing and see what happens with him. But being committed to Florida doesn't mean that he'll stay there. Like I said, being new to him, teams will get a chance to make an impression on him before he makes a decision about committing or staying committed to Florida, or he decides to decommit and change his mind. So I think Texas is right in the thick of things, and I think they'll continue to build a relationship and grow it.
One of the things about Mbacho is he not only is committed to Florida, and like you mentioned, that's a thing that is obviously in flux. Like, I think if the Gators lose one more game, their athletic director is gone, and the head coach is probably not too far behind him in the unemployment line or in the buyout line. But at the same time, like, this is someone who is 6'6", he's 285. Like, there are going to be so many different schools coming after Mbacho. And he's going to see a lot of different schools. I think that's his intention. He wants to check out Texas, obviously. He wants to go ahead and check out, I think, Auburn as well. I'm trying to pull up the Inside Texas story, and people can probably beat me to it. Go to InsideTexas.com, use the code IT1, find all our premium info. But this is someone who is going to take visits. Like, if you saw an interview with him from Chad Simmons earlier today at On3, he gave an interview like, yeah, I'm still committed to Florida, but, and the most important part of that statement is but. Like, this is someone who is going to check out a lot of different places. Need to find a story, but of course, head to InsideTexas.com to find out the latest. Charlie, kind of curious about what your thoughts are on Nathaniel Uosu Boateng. He is a linebacker from IMG Academy. He is I think, the little brother of, man, what's his name? JOK, the old Notre Dame linebacker. I think it's Julian Owosu Kamara, something like that.
That's his name over here.
Yeah, I know, JOK. And we have some very good friends who cover Notre Dame, whether it's our buddies over at the On3 site with Notre Dame Blue and Gold Illustrated. We got some more friends over at Irish Sports Daily who cover Notre Dame. Nathaniel Uosu Boateng, someone who is taking an official visit to Texas and doing it on October 19th for the Georgia game. IMG Academy guy. Kind of curious what you think about him and his game, and also the Texas linebacker class as well.
When you look at his game, he's an athletic linebacker who can move. You might project him maybe as a wheel somewhere where kind of like Mo Blackwell plays now. He can kind of play in space. He can cover guys because he can run and he can move, but he's also physical enough to be in the box and strike an opponent. It's always good when you have an older brother or somebody in the family, a sibling that plays in the NFL, right, who's made it to the NFL, because you probably share some of the similar traits and knowledge, and you got to get that experience from them. And so, coming from IMG, we all know Bo Gibson went to IMG, right? So they may have a relationship there. Jordan Johnson Rubel, also another IMG guy. So I'm sure they got some kind of intertwine there who can tell them all about Texas and how Texas is. And I think the fact that he's taking an official visit to Texas means a lot, right? It means we have a chance. As long as you have a chance, man, it's never over. And I guess a big opponent like Georgia, at night, the atmosphere is going to be like lit, you know what I mean? And so he's going to get to see Texas in all its glory throughout the day. And then the night game, the fans and everybody turn up, and I think he's going to see everything Texas has to offer, everything they've been telling him, how they can use him. He'll get to see guys on the field flying around making plays. And he's probably going to be like, yo, I might want in this thing. You never know, right? But all you can hope for is a chance, and Texas has that. Come October 19th, it's on.
What are your thoughts right now on the Longhorns linebacker class? Obviously, they have Bo Barnes, number 33 overall. Talked about him a little bit. They have Jonathan Cunningham, but they're after Uosu Boateng. They're after Madden Ferrimo. They did not get Riley Pettijohn. They're still looking for probably one more. What do you think about the Texas linebacker class as it currently sits right now?
Yeah, so got a chance to see a lot. Bo Barnes and got to see Cunningham play live, and like those are two dudes. Seeing Cunningham play against DeSoto, was it 2 weeks ago? Man, seeing him go in and really strike guys and showing that he can play linebacker. I know a lot of people project him as safety, maybe could do the size, but this is a kid who can play in the box all day long, but still have those DB abilities. So with those two, I'm good because I think they can fit in and play right away. And we just saw a young freshman talented Smith Saturday night flash and showed that he has ability, right? So those guys kind of be in the same boat together, and having young linebackers. But if you add one more, it can never hurt. I think Texas is looking to do that. But right as it sits right now, they got two studs, man, who can play all three downs, and that's all you can ask for.
Is there anything to see with Pettijohn just from off the top? I know the thing is, everybody at this point in the year, it's like, oh, we're flipping everybody. We're number one. We're going to get them all. And that's always tough. That's always tough. Ohio State's right there. Like, they've got a good defense. They've got great coaches. Is there anything to see with Pettijohn?
I'll say this, and until December, until signing day, I'm not giving up on anything, right? I don't think the coaches are either. And so you just never know how things will shake out, how things will go, because all you can do is ever ask. All the kid can ever do is say, no, I don't want to visit, or I don't want to take any calls. But as long as there's open line of communication and he responds, you got a chance in my book. And so I think you keep shooting until he puts pen to paper. And if it's an opportunity to get him back on campus, then great for Texas, but we'll see. I think that's all you can do, though.
Sugar Daddy. Texas beats. Where are the stud muffins? When will they be live? Hey, tune in tomorrow. We got stuff coming in tomorrow morning, tomorrow night. We'll have Eric. We'll have Ian. Might even have Paul tomorrow. But thank you for the support. Thank you for the super chat. Victor Santiago. How about Madden? That's someone that his recruitment has been affected, Charlie, I think, by USC having a little bit of a resurgence on the
Yeah.
defensive side of the football.
Yeah, you can see that. I think everybody's kind of been waiting on USC to see what kind of defense they have displayed this year. And then getting a new hire from UCLA, their DC. I think that helped. And it kind of been shown on the field that they've stepped up the efforts on defense. And it's close to home, right? And so it's like if I can stay close to home and USC's playing defense, hey, he may giving them a second and third look. So yeah, USC is in a good spot right now with him, just because they've shown improvement on defense and show that hey, they are dedicated to fixing that defense and then improving and developing those guys on the side of the ball, which has been lacking. So yeah, that's we can just kind of see what happens with that. But right now, I think he's liking USC.
Yeah, that's been a battle with Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Texas is the school that slowed him down off of Notre Dame, but now USC showing some quality over on their defensive side of the ball, especially for someone. I think he's from San Diego area,
Hmm.
and so he's obviously going to be interested in Southern California because it doesn't get more SoCal than San Diego. So something to watch. But Notre Dame, Texas, USC, all in that conversation. Got a question we want to get to from our guy UT Parking. Will Texas make a run at Dorian Brew, or has that ship sailed? I think they're staying in touch with him, but there's a guy over who's got a 5-star older brother, an all-pro legend. Maybe not all-pro. I can't remember if he got all-pro, but Pro Bowl, Mario Edwards' son, Gianni,
Hmm.
who Texas at cornerback, Texas fans need to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely. I got a chance to go by North Point and see Gianni, see his movement, and see his dad coaching him. And that kid has some size and has some movement. He has the NFL pedigree. His dad played for Florida State and the Cowboys and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brother was a former 5-star recruit from Denton Ryan. Played at Florida State. Been in the league, I want to say maybe 6 or 7 years now. So, like, and that kid gets it. Like, he's all about football, right? He's all serious, taking his development serious, and wants to play at the next level. He just wants to go somewhere he can be developed. And I know he got a chance to go down to Texas and see home game versus Colorado State, and he was very impressed, right? He was impressed because everybody got a chance to play, seeing some of the young guys play. Loved the style of play. His dad loved the style of play, right? And they like everything about Texas. And the thing about it is, his older brother being recruited by Texas heavy, the dad was like, it's just like I remember. It's 5-star treatment, 5-star facilities, the best people around. Like, and this is a great program. So I'm glad they got some familiarity there with Texas, and I'm interested to see, if Texas offers, man. It's going to get really, really interesting, right? Because he's committed to Arizona right now, but Texas offers, man, things could change.
As someone who you recruited against in the Mountain West way back in the day, Brent Brennan has a good eye for talent, and
Yeah.
now that he's on the Power 5 track, like that is definitely somebody who knows what he's looking for, knows how to get people around. And Gianni Edwards is a good one. I love this question. I'm glad it just came in. Charlie, this is for you. Did you guys check out Toby Hastrup yet? 2025 defensive end from Maid Creek, originally from London. Think he ends up as a top 100 kid. Charlie, you had a comparison for him pretty quickly once you saw his film.
Yeah, Smith the Rockbro. So I actually watched this film. I actually talked to him yesterday when he got out of practice, and actually, I wrote a little small article about it because I got to interview him. And man, watching this film, this kid can move. Like, he's Smith the Rockbro, but he said he ran a 10.7. I went to go verify. Like, he runs a 10.7. You don't see a guy that's almost 6'5", 235 moving that fast. But the build on this kid is just amazing, and he has an impressive offer list. So yeah, I was able to kind of check him out, and talking to him, he would love to hear from Texas. He did mention that Texas is his mom's favorite school, right? And so you guys probably can read that. You can go read the article Inside Texas. It'll be up. But yeah, man, this is a kid who can really, really play, and I hope Texas gives him a look because this guy can go.
Love that one. Kind of coincides with this question from a guy, CD. Any news on Javian Hilson? On threes reporting, whether from Steve Wiltfong or Chad Simmons, I think, has him going more towards the end of the cycle, going to take his visits, decide late. So, Charlie, if you had your pick, would you take Toby or Javian?
Whew. Oh, man, look, that's tough. A guy that's already in the state. I like Javion Hilson as well. I think he's obviously ranked where he's at. He's a great talent on the edge, but you know, Looking at film, I like Toby because he just stands out. I think that's another guy that you don't see too often. A kid that size who can move that fast. Like I said, that's an SEC defensive end or edge, and at running a 10-7 and seeing his build, he's not even reached his ceiling. So I don't know. You can go either way. If Texas goes all in on Hilton, or if they don't, then go out to Toby or either or. I'd be happy to either one. But this Toby kid is really, really impressive to me, and I don't know. It's almost a tie, man. You can't go wrong with either one. If you could take both, take both. But yeah, he can play. So I don't know. That's tough.
That may lead to a deeper conversation, and what better time than the present? Like, we're about to have a society in a college football world where you can take 105 prospects on your roster. Like, if you're on the fence about it, that's to say the fence is about to move. Like, if you're on the fence about a guy now, that fence is about to be, 20 yards in a different direction. And you're gonna be like, yeah, let's offer that guy. Like, there's a world right now, Charlie, where I think you can offer Toby Hastrup and then still also heavily pursue Javian Hilson as well.
Yeah, you could definitely do that and see where things land, see how it shakes out. But um, man, they're both talented guys, and you can never have too many defensive linemen and ever, right? Guys in the trenches are priceless. And so the more you have, the more talented guys you have, the more depth you have, the more you can rotate. And I think what was it we talked a little bit we talked about it. The Michigan championship run, they had 9 guys they were rotated up front. So I don't see a problem with having good numbers up front if you can get both or recruit both.
And you saw that firsthand when the Rebels went to Ann Arbor, right?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
We'll get a couple more. We got some great ones from our guy Victor Santiago. Terry needs to stop playing and commit to Texas already. That's someone who went to Lincoln to watch the Cornhuskers take on Colorado Buffaloes. Win that one. Again, something I've mentioned on this show a lot. I don't think any coach in the country has done, or any staff in the country has done as much as Matt Rule has to try to land Michael Terry. Whatever the NCAA allows, I think Nebraska has done in order to see him. But Charlie, he was just on campus this past weekend, seeing the Longhorns take on UTSA. There's a lot of long-standing connections between him and with Tashard Choice, and
Yeah.
Texas is probably going to reap the benefits of those connections whenever Terry makes his decision.
Yeah, I agree. And I know he loved his visit just this past Saturday. I know he kind of left early in the fourth quarter, but he was like, man, VIP 5-star treatment every time he comes to Texas. And he loves what he sees. And Texas, like you said, has a long standing relationship with him, especially Coach Choice, since he was in 8th grade. And so I think the Longhorns in a really good spot for Terry. But, you got to give a kid, opportunity to kind of go see everything right before they make a decision on where they want to go to school for the next 4 to 5 years. And so he's just doing his due diligence. But I think, Texas has done a really, really great job. The staff has done a really, really great job with him during the recruiting process. And like I said, I feel good about the Horns with Terry when he decides to make his decision.
That's when we're tracking. I'm not too far away from Alamo Heights. Probably takes me an hour and a half to get there. Saw him in the preseason. That guy does it all. Great teammate, great football player. Would be a great addition to any team, and probably one that will be a great addition to Texas. But when we're tracking, last thing probably, if you haven't gotten the question in yet, feel free to get one in. We'll hit it. But we got to go to another one from our guy Victor Santiago. Will Zealous Hicks, the most recent 2026 commit, will he stay 2026 or reclassify to the 2025 class? That's one that we're tracking. And Charlie, if he stays in 26, great news.
Right.
If he stays in 2025 or if he joins 2025, you get a class with Jonah Williams and Zealous Hicks that may be the envy of the rest of the country.
Yeah, if he comes to 2025, that's a good duo and a good pair, him and Jonah together. I think they would match well in the secondary and safety together. But if he decides to stay in 2026, man, what a great start to that class. So, yeah, I just think that, I don't know. Like you said, we're just kind of tracking to see what's going to happen with him as far as is he going to reclassify or not. But guess we'll just have to see. Not really sure, and I'm not really sure how it works with reclassify. I'm starting to see more kids do it now and announce that they are reclassifying. So we'll see what happens.
This is someone that we watched for, I think, a long time, and we were trying to figure out how close of attention we had to pay to Zealous Hicks. He visited April 13th for a scrimmage. He visited June 1st for a camp, and you always track the visits with whatever recruit you're talking about. How often do they go to a place? To be from Carrollton, Georgia, and even though his aunt is a former Dallas County District criminal attorney or something like that, or even though she's on the Texas Board of Criminal Justice, like, you still track the visits, and we track those visits with Zealous Hicks, and I think that's a testament to both Steve Sarkisian and his efforts, but also to Blake Gideon for getting an out-of-state kid from a well-covered school. Like, Carrollton has Julian Lewis, who just everybody's after. Dion's after him. Indiana's after him. USC, he's a commit there. Georgia is after him. Auburn. Like, there are so many schools that go by Carrollton. Texas went by Carrollton, got Zealous Hicks, got his commitment, and no matter what he decides to do, I think that's a big win for Texas, just to make sure that they got that guy no matter what class he's in. So, Charlie, anything else? We got 36, 37 minutes of good recruiting talk. Anything else you wanted to hit on?
Yeah, man. Not really, just that, hey, man, look, Texas is number one. We're in a good spot this Saturday. Another test to see how Texas versus Texas goes, because it's all about us. And it's always going to be about us every single Saturday. So, man, embrace being number one. Root for the Longhorns, man, because we're in a good spot. So let's enjoy it.
General Booty does not come to town all too often. And the number one team does not come to town all too often. But the number one team is in town, so you should be paying attention. And if you're not paying attention to the number one team that covers Texas, head to InsideTexas.com. Use the promo code IT1. Get yourself 2 months of premium access for just $1. And, of course, if you're here, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We will be here tomorrow morning with Homer. We'll be here tomorrow night for our Inside Texas Live. We'll be here for any breaking news that happens. So make sure you come and check us out. Thank you for watching. Whether that General Booty about to get slapped, we're gonna make the most of all these puns. Like, you get this once in a lifetime. So there's no other opportunity. There's no other time we're gonna get this opportunity. Booty's about to get slapped. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for joining. And we'll see you next time on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com.